What bit?
I know a thing or two about poultry, and I can always back my own opinion when it comes to the matter of fowls. And I have a fiver on it that the bird I ate was bred in the country.
Ah! Well, you've been and got lost your fiver, Governor. Because all Windigate's birds was town-bred.
Nothing of the kind. The one I ate was bred in the country.
It was not.
I don't believe you.
Look, Mr. Clever Boots, do you know more about fowls than me, then? Me that's been handling them since I was a kid. I'm telling you that all the birds that went to the Alpha was town-bred.
You will never persuade me to believe that because I know.
Will you bet on it, then?
Well, it's merely taking your money, but yes. Just to teach you not to be so obstinate, I'll wager a sovereign.
Right then, Mr. Cockshaw. And you, sir. I thought as how I was out of geese, but it would seem we still got one here. Now then, you see this little book?
Well?
This here's an account of my suppliers. In the back there we got the country suppliers, and in the front here the town ones. Now then, do you mind reading out that item there?
Mrs. Oakshott, 117 Brixton Road, Eggs and Poultry, page 43.
That refers to this ledger. Here's all my buying and selling. Now then, 43. So if you've got no objection, do you mind reading out that item there?
Yes, December the 18th, from Mrs. Oakshott, 24 geese at 7 and 6pence.
And just below that, sir?
Sold to Windigate, the Alpha Inn, 12 shillings.
What have you to say now, sir?
You seem amused at the loss of your sovereign, Holmes.
When you see a fellow with whiskers of that cut, Watson, and a copy of the Pink 'Un protruding from his pocket, you can always draw him by a wager. I could have laid £100 in front of him, and he would never have given me as much information as he did when he thought he was doing me down over a wager.
Yes, it would seem that he refused his other questioners.
Clearly so, and as there are others who seem anxious about this matter, the point to be decided is whether we visit her, Mrs. Oakshott tonight, or leave it until tomorrow.
Well, it is getting rather late, Holmes.
Yes.
And we do have the blue carbuncle after all.
And you're anxious for your supper?
Geese! I'm fed up with you and your geese. If you want to buy a goose off me, you come back tomorrow
I
morning.
don't want a goose tomorrow.
Then you could go to the devil.
But I must know who bought the others.
Look, if I have any more of your silly questions, I'll set the dog on you.
Mrs. Oakshott said...
Mrs. Oakshott, you bring her here, I'll tell her. I mean, who do you think you are? Did I buy the geese off you, then?
No, but one of the geese was
Tell
mine.
Mrs. Oakshott.
Mrs. Oakshott asked me to ask you.
Look, you can ask the King of Prussia for all I can. I've had enough of you. Be off with you.
We'll have a word with this fellow.
Be off with you. I'm here pestering me about your geese. And what are you not gaping at? Go on, get out of it.
Who are you? What do you want?
Just going on here.
Questions, if you'll excuse me, sir. I could not help but overhear your conversation with Mr. Breckenridge, and I believe I can be of some assistance to you.
What could you know about this? Who are you?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. It is my business to know what other people do not.
You can know nothing about this.
Excuse me, but I know everything. You are endeavouring to trace some geese, are you not?
Yes.
Well, 24 geese were sold by Mrs. Oakshott of Brixton Road to Mr. Breckenridge for a certain sum of money. He, in turn, sold them for a larger amount to the landlord of an inn, who was running a goose club of which a Mr. Harold Baker was a member.
Yes, but what was the name of the inn, sir? That is precisely what I'm trying to find out.
Why?
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to reveal that.
Yeah, well, I think we'd better discuss this matter in a cosy room rather than this windswept marketplace. Watson, could you find us a cab?
Certainly.
By the way, sir, pray tell me, whom have I the pleasure of assisting?
My name is John Robinson.
Oh, come, sir, your real name, please. It is always awkward doing business with an alias.
Well, very well, if you must know, it's James Ryder.
Precisely, sir. You are an under-manager at the Hotel Cosmopolitan, and you have been of great assistance to the police, I believe. Yes? Oh, fine. I shall be able to tell you everything you want to know when we get to Baker Street. Here we are. You seem cold, Mr. Ryder. You are shivering. Pray, take that chair. Now, Mr. Ryder, what is it you wish to know?
Which pub was it that these geese went to?
The Alpha Inn in Bloomsbury. But I do not think that will help you, for I think you are only interested in one particular goose. A white bird with a black bar across its tail.
Yes. Do you know what happened to it, where it went?
Certainly. Came here.
Here? To you?
Yes. And a most remarkable bird it proved. I'm not surprised you should take such an interest in it.
Why, what do you mean?
It laid an egg after it was dead. A beautiful, bright, blue egg.
That's mine!
Hold on, man, you'll be in the fire. That's it, Watson. Thank you.
It seems a waste, but I suppose he ought to have a dash of brandy.
An excellent idea, Watson. He's not got blood enough to go into felony with impunity. What a shrimp it is, to be sure. Compose yourself, Mr. Ryder. Are you prepared to talk?
Give me a minute, please, sir.
That's better. Now you begin to look a little more human. Since I have every link in my hands and all the proof I need, there is very little you have to tell me. Still, that little may as well be cleared up, just to make the case complete. In the first place, how did you know where the stone was kept?
Oh, Catherine Cusack, her ladyship's maid, she told me. Well, she egged me on. We were going to... We had intended to...
I see. The temptation of easily acquired wealth was too much for you.
I've never stolen so much as a farthing before, Mr. Holmes. You've got to believe
We're
me.
hardly talking of farthings.
You have the makings of a pretty villain, Ryder. You knew that you could accuse Horner and that suspicion would rest easily upon him because he had been in trouble before. I suppose you arranged that he was to be the one to come and do the repair in Lady Morcar's dressing room.
Yes, well, her ladyship had been complaining as usual and the regular man was away.
So you and this woman, Cusack, seized your opportunity. After Horner had left, you rifled the jewel case, raised the alarm and had the unfortunate man arrested.
I'll never forgive myself, Mr. Holmes. For pity's sake, have mercy on me. I've never done nothing wrong before. You've got to believe me.
Get up, man. Get up and sit over there.
It's all very well for you to cringe and crawl now that you've found out, but what about Horner? You sent him to the dock for a crime he knew nothing about.
I'll write a confession. I'll leave the country. I'll do anything you want. Only please, please, don't hand me over to the police.
What happens will depend upon you. Firstly, give us a true account of how the jewel got into the goose and the goose onto the open market. The truth, Ryder. For there is your only hope of safety.
I'll try, sir. I'll try to tell it exactly as it happened. Well, after they arrested Horner...
At your instigation.
Yes, well, I realised I'd got to get rid of the stone quickly before the police took it into their heads to search me.
Yes, that thought might have occurred to Lestrade's sense of the obvious. Go on, Ryder.
I didn't dare leave it in the hotel, so I slipped out for an hour and I went straight to my sister's place in the Brixton Road.
Ah, the celebrated Mrs. Oakshott.
Yes, that's right, sir. She fattens fowl for the market. Well, all the way there, every man I saw seemed to be a policeman or a detective, and although it was bitterly cold, the sweat was pouring down my face. When I got to her place, I must have looked so odd because she asked me what was wrong. Well, I told her about the robbery in the hotel, and I said I was upset because it was on my floor. Then I went out the back by the goose pens to smoke a cigarette and think things out. Well, I've got this friend up in Kilburn who served time, and I knew he'd show me how to turn the stone into money, but the thing was, how was I going to get the stone to him in safety? I mean, supposing they searched me and they found the blue carbuncle in my pocket. Well, suddenly an idea came to me that would beat the best detective that ever lived.
Jim! Jim! Where do you think you're at? Jim! Put that bird down, that's not yours. What are you doing with it?
You promised me one for Christmas. I was just selecting one.
But we've got yours set aside already. Jim's bird, we call it. It's that big white one over there.
Well, look, if it's all the same to you, Maggie, I'd rather have the one I handled.
But we've fattened yours up special. 26 birds there are. 2 dozen for the market, 1 for you and 1 for us. Yours and ours are a good £3 heavier than
Yes,
the
well,
rest.
that's very kind of you, Maggie, but I don't want you to think I'm ungrateful, but I'd rather have the other.
But... Oh, all right then, but don't expect any favours in the future.
Thank you, Maggie.
Which is the one that's so taken your fancy?
The one with the barred tail. Look, can I take it with me now?
Do what you like, but you can catch it and kill it yourself, because I'm not going to.